This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. Did the defense have anything to worry about because of Sunday, right? The Browns defense has been dominant through 3 weeks, but this week they gave up 28 points to the Baltimore Ravens when they haven't given up that many points all season. Did the Baltimore Ravens figure something out versus this Cleveland Browns defense, or was it all the fault of the Cleveland Browns offense just not being able to move the ball? A little bit of both, but I do think that there are some things that the Baltimore Ravens had success with on Sunday that we should look at, diagnose, and evaluate so we know if it's going to be a problem going forward, because there are a couple of reoccurring issues that would suggest to me that there are replicable problems with the defense. Now, this doesn't mean that the defense stinks. It just means that there are adjustments that need to be made because there are some replicable problems. Okay. And when I say replicable problems, I'm saying like plays that were successful that can be replicated on a drive. So it's not just, oh, you got lucky on this one, you can't really do that again. It's like, hey, this is something they could do over and over again, and it's going to be a little bit of an issue. First one right here, you're going to see motion, and then you're going to see Pat Ricard here as the eligible lineman. And you see this poses a problem, right? Motion poses a problem for this Browns defense because it just gets them out their fit. So they run this motion, and Pat Ricard gets to JOK before he can go get going, and creates a big old hole for Gus Edwards. Okay, cool. Let's look at it from the other end. See right here. Two things to watch. There's the motion coming across, and then there's big Pat Ricard, and you can see what Pat Ricard does to this run play where he just breaks through that first line, and he doesn't really have anybody heavier than him to deal with. Now, you're not going to run into a lot of teams that have a functional tight end, fullback, but this is something that could cause a problem, right? You're going to play the 49ers next week. That's an issue, right? So you get this motion across, which holds the linebackers. And I don't think these linebackers do a great job on this play of getting to their run fit, right? They're supposed to be in their respective gaps. So one's supposed to be here. The other one should probably be here. And then you're trusting that he's going to contain on the outside. But instead, they both kind of crash and end up in this gap, and they kind of get stopped up. So that's a number one issue too. Linebackers got pulled out their run fit, and you let a nice little gash happen. All right, right here is a good defensive play. I think Juan Thornhill on this play does a great job of coming out of this too high look. So you can see Juan. He comes up here. He realizes that they're splitting half the field, and then he sees that his two man corners are doing a good job. So instead of staying over top, he crashes up and then plays hard flat. So you can see him. He sees what's going on. He plays hard flat, and then great job hovering, right? Don't be too aggressive. Hover, hover, hover. He can't run. We condensed the field on him. He can't run. Be there, box him in, and you see where Juan Thornhill decides to hover and bite down at, basically, right? At the sticks. Good job by him. Good job. And he stays at the sticks, and then the second he can attack, he attacks, make sure he's short. He uses the sideline as leverage. Good job. This one right here, Myles Garrett, being Myles Garrett. Just blow by. Nice little blow by here. Pat McCarry can't really do anything with him. He's already turned. The guard's late to help. Za'Darius is also getting pressure. Myles creates chaos, forces to step up, and they clean it up. Good job, defensive line, on that one. All right, this is another one. We're going to see this pre-snap and post-snap motion really affect this team, and you see it affect 44 the most, Sione Takitaki. He's the most susceptible. So when Kyle Shanahan comes to town, I promise you, every time he sees 44, he's going to run somebody over him in motion, left and right, all pre-snap, post-snap, because they've noticed that he has the least grace in operating in space here, right? So they motion him out, and you see how he just gets pulled out of his fit. Now, part of this is Lamar Jackson, right? Lamar Jackson has tremendous gravity, but he's not crashing towards Lamar, right? He's not holding his space. He's trying to crash, and he's being a little bit too aggressive. He should probably be here holding, waiting to see and reacting to what Lamar Jackson does, because Lamar can easily crash up that hole. If he goes this way, Miles actually has him, so that's kind of locked up there. And if this running back goes this way, you're not making, just stay where you are, right? Just stay where you are. A-Walk's there. He's here. He's here. Right? Like, that's covered up. I know they have a fullback. If you want to crash, wait till you see him with the ball. He commits. You can crash and try to get underneath somebody, but you don't have to be there that early. If you're Taki, you can let it happen, but sometimes Taki don't wait. And when he make them great plays, he don't wait. We don't complain, but this is the downside of it, right? So instead, Taki crashes early, says, "Oh shit, it's going the other way," and inadvertently blocks his own teammate. So you see he gets in A-Walk's way. Gotta maintain your gaps, especially these linebackers. Again, it's simple. Hover, hover, hover. You don't got to chase. There was no reason for him to chase. Didn't need to chase. But that motion got him, right? They put him in motion. That's Sione Takitaki's guy. And all Sione Takitaki can think about right now is, oh, shit, he's in motion. Oh, that's Zay Flowers. Oh, my God, I can't keep up. If he runs a route, I'm done, right? So let me crash on him. They have to have some kind of communication between these three linebackers when these things pop up, right? If he can't handle that responsibility, that's fine. Push it to him, who pushes it to him, and then instead of shifting out of your fit, you stay where you are. And you'll see the Browns do this later in the game. You stay where you are. He can read from back here, hey, is he coming? Is he not? And that's a better person who's in a better spot to make that decision. Instead of him trying to make the decision on a player going this way, that's not a player that's in a good spot to make that decision. A lot of playing man defense is like playing man defense in basketball. You have to communicate. And there was no communication here. Sione Takitaki just kind of did. You see no talking and got in his way, created the lane for a touchdown. Offensive line didn't have to block there. Really didn't have to do anything because, again, he's in motion. And you see where he's shooting. He's shooting straight towards Zay Flowers. And because he does that, he's in A-Walk's way. Now, you see what A-Walk does, right? A-Walk hovers, waits to see what's happening. A-Walk's eyes are perfect on this. Hovers, waits to see what happens, and he's ready to react, right? He sees Lamar has the ball, and he's like, okay, Lamar can go here or he can go here, right? These are the two spots where Lamar can go. I'm going to read him and chase him to that gap. But he doesn't get that opportunity because Taki runs into him. He tries like hell. But again, even Taki's rush to go over, he runs his guard right into him. Got to have more patient eyes here, Taki. And I've seen this happen to him enough to where I know that this is going to be in the game plan in San Francisco against him. This right here is a good play by JOK. So again, it's one thing to be aggressive. It's another thing to be smart. And this is smart and aggressive, right? See, he gets downfield, does a great job losing his blocker, and then gets there for the tackle. Ronnie McLeod does a good job too. They do the same celebration. Nice. Another thing that we know for a fact, I just want to show this, you can't straight screen this defense. I don't know what they were thinking here, but they was just going to run a straight screen and drag. That's just never going to work. With pulling your guards and doing all that, that's not going to work against this Browns. They're too fast. All right, Alex right here. So we're going to watch 91 on this play. I don't know what his plan was, but he really scrapes real close to the edge as if he's trying to get directly to the quarterback. Now, the down and distance here is first down, so I don't know why he would be doing that. It's more of a third down thing. But you're going to see here, he really does scrape real close. Like, he pushes in, and it's a nice little run action where they pull the guards, right? So it's a counter play. Basically, the idea of a counter is to fool the defensive line. We're going to pull, but we're really going to try to sneak it around you. He bites super hard on this counter, and, you know, it leaves a bunch of green grass here, right? Bites super hard. And then, you know, kudos to JOK for getting there because he does a great job of getting there, but just got to make the tackle. It's not that's Greg Newsome or JOK. It's JOK. Yeah. Got to make the tackle. That's a missed tackle. Look, that's the stuff you've been able to get away with the first 3 weeks because you've been excellent at tackling, and now you just didn't get away with it. You know, but they've been playing it that same way. Yeah. Alex Wright kind of falls into the trap because they pull these guards. He's looking, right? He sees the guards chase, so he's like, I'm going to go backside. I know Jim Schwartz doesn't want his edges to maintain, to contain a lot, right? I don't think he wants to do that. He said that in the past. But some guys like Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, even if you want to say Obo Okoronkwo, those guys, sure, have the green light. I think Myles, Zadarius, green light, yes. Green light, yes. Yellow light for Obo, and then red light for a dude like Alex Wright, who's only really in there in rundowns. He should always be containing, okay? Because he's not quick enough to do anything if he doesn't. So, yeah, Jim Schwartz probably has to adjust who contains, who doesn't, because this is what happens. This is what happens when you teach your edges not to contain. You're going to get stuff like this ran on you. And, you know, you're really putting a lot on JOK to make that tackle there. You're really putting a lot on him because he is the only guy. There is one guy in all this green space that can do anything about this play. One guy. And you can't put your linebackers in that situation. You really can't. That's more on, hey, you gotta, I don't know if Alex Wright is just doing what he's coached there, but you have to have some contain. It's just inevitable. Especially with the players who aren't necessarily as good as Myles Garrett. Right? Because you see here, if he's containing, you have a shot, right? But since he's all the way upfield, you have no shot. You have no shot. If he contains here, he's like, hey, I'm getting upfield easy. Right. The second he sees that tackle's hip, he should be hand on Tomlinson's shoulder, out wide, contain. Doesn't contain, and JOK misses a tackle, and that happens. You got to give you can't have one linebacker be in the way of that many yards. All right. JOK got to be more aware of his spacing and zone. So this is JOK in coverage. We're going to look at him. He doesn't space this out right. He needs to be a little bit more aware here. So you can see he spaces just a little bit too far over to the numbers. I don't know what this positioning is. I don't think it's very good. He's not really in a position to do anything. Preferably, since you're playing AWOC has the flat. He's playing hard flat this side. He's playing hard flat this side, and then he has kind of the center area. You have him man on man. You have this area covered. You have this covered. We see what it is. It's a variation of 3, right? JOK needs to, instead of being right there, he needs to be closer to up here, closer to the numbers. Not good spacing, right? You see where that line is, where they have the 40. That was a terrible line. But you see where the 40-yard line is and where Grant's keeping his spacing, where you see Taki keeping his spacing, and then you see JOK down here. No need for him to be down here. Be on that 40, be where you're supposed to be, space this out better. This play doesn't get completed. There's an argument you can make here that he probably should be right here, because that's the way the spacing looks like it makes sense. But I don't know the intricacies of Jim Schwartz's defense, so I would not be qualified to tell where he's exactly supposed to be. Just I know this ain't right. He's got to space out better. He knows he ain't where he's supposed to be. All right. Motion forces JOK out his run fit, and you're going to see this is the third of a lot of plays where the motion just really kills him. Right. They're going to get an end around motion here. JOK knows it's this guy. Now they pass this one off. JOK is just a little bit too aggressive. He triggers downhill at the motion instead of just sitting there and waiting. And again, he would benefit to wait a little bit. Right. The second he gets that ball, the ball gets snapped. He's triggering downfield to that end around because he wants to get a big tackle. He wants to get a safety or something like that. Gotta let it go. Gotta know what you're playing, right? Now, Taki actually does a good job hovering over this, and he does actually get hands on this tackle. Man, motion is an issue. Good job by Okoronkwo for not falling for it, but then he just gets stonewalled here by a guard. Look at that. Oh, God. That's a punch there. That's a blow. That's one to give and one to take. Oh, my gosh. Not great there. This is another motion here. They're going to force a walk out of his zone right now. This is just a function of the offense and taking advantage of a flaw in the defense. So they motion this guy across. You're going to see a walk where he is and where he ends up. He ends up having to motion back over Sione Taki, which puts him here, which puts him out of his run fit. All right. He's supposed to probably be here in his run fit. Takes him all the way out here because now he's worried about Zay Flowers getting that end around. Now, again, this is what good players do. They stress a defense. They make you break your rules. And the Baltimore Ravens are a good offense, right? They have good players. Zay Flowers is one that makes you break your rules. And then Lamar Jackson makes you break your rules. And this is a good job of scheming by Todd Monken to force guys out of their spots. But the Browns have to figure out a way to not let this kind of stuff happen as consistently as it did on Sunday. So you get pulled out your spot, free money. By the way, I would love to see the Browns offense do a lot of this motion stuff because this is what our running game's missing, right? When I'm saying motions, when I'm saying RPOs, basically watch what the Baltimore Ravens do. The Browns should do some version of this stuff. Okay, this one's just like Lamar's really good and people should stop acting like he's not. Look at the balls on him to throw this ball. Like, oh my God. I can't get mad at anybody defensively for the coverage on this because I think, you're being aggressive. Obo gets kind of pushed out there. A-walk, that's just Lamar Jackson. He's hard to get. The back end does a good job, but then Mark Andrews, they have this Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes thing going where Lamar is going this way and instantly you see Mark Andrews go this way. And then this dude really throws that thing and it works. And this looks like vintage Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce. This is vintage Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce that we see here. Look at this throw. This balls on him to do this. Look, man, there are a number of plays here from Lamar Jackson. I'm just going to put it out there that look very Pat Mahomes-ish. This is one of them. Good. Get out of here. You got to respect game, man. You got to respect game. All right, Obo, I talked about this again where they're way upfield. Might just be a function of the defense where they don't like to contain a ton. But he's too far upfield. Again, there needs to be tiers to this Miles, Zadarius, green light. I don't care if they're upfield. Oboe, anybody on that opposite side that's not Miles or Zadarius, yellow light, man. Stop right here. Stop right here. You see they're running a play action. Stop right here. I don't know why so many edge rushers do this. Maybe there's a former pro edge rusher in the comment section that could tell me why they do this. But every time we see a play action, you will see edge rushers, instead of just waiting and seeing what happens with the play action and playing off of that, go, nah, I gotta chase it. Nah, I gotta chase this right here. Because if this were a regular run play, you know you're not getting there. Why are you chasing it? If this is a pass play, he's coming to you. I don't understand the rush. Maybe this is a young player thing. I don't understand the rush. But the rush is there. He gets way too upfield. And he allows a backside cut here. Again, he should be waiting and seeing right here. Just, I'm back here. Nobody else is. Let me see what happens. I know it's Lamar. I know. And instead, we let him get backside. Not great. But I think you're just going to be able to get that on this Browns defense, to be honest with you. Like, that's just some of the negatives of running a ton of man. And being as aggressive as you are on the defensive line. Yeah, again, motion. Look how consistently you use motion to move the second level out of alignment. Look at this again here. You're going to see Ronnie McLeod follow that motion. And it just completely takes him out of where he's supposed to be. They ran right to where they look. There's no mistake here. They ran right to where that motion was, right? They pull that motion on this side, and they're going to run this ball right to that side. There's not a mistake here. They're not doing this by accident. Look, ran right to where they put the motion. You can see it right there. The Browns have to figure out something to counter all this motion, right? Whether it be communicating and shifting it down line, whether it being, hey, we know that they're running this motion here. We'll run it, make them think that they're getting what they want. But that means alert, alert. They're going to take this gap because that's what they usually do. So, you know, you got to have a plan for this, right? This one right here. It's another one. Did they use motion here again? Right here, they do a RPO, but it's not. It's a quarterback run read. Right here, well, quarterback run lead. So basically, they just have him lead up, block here. Again, just taking advantage of how aggressively uphill the Browns defense likes to get. So wait a couple seconds here, and then, you know, I think whoever this is that's blocking does a great job. 13 Duvernay does a great job of also making sure Juan Thornhill can't get in on this play. Good execution by the Baltimore Ravens on that one. Yeah, this is a better adjustment to that motion, but they still missed the tackle. Right, so you can see the motion is it's a simple shift in line, right? Okay, we're just going to shift in line. You pick him up, and you get rewarded. Hey, you're at your run fit. You're right there. Just missed the tackle. Yeah, we'll see it from the end zone angle. This is another one where it's like, hey, okay, we shifted it. Cool. We reacted to the motion. We had our adjustment. Grant Delpit does a great job getting underneath, getting to his fit. Now, Dalvin Tomlinson does not do a great job of holding his double team, right? Because you want him to hold that double so he can be right there instead of getting pushed out the way and giving this little gap here for Gus Edwards to run through. So not a great play for Dalvin Tomlinson. And again, you would love it if Okoronkwo wasn't so aggressive to trigger downhill all the time. But that might just be a function of how Jim Schwartz wants these edges to go. And you get the pressure. You're fine with it. Whatever. But Dalvin Tomlinson, you just want him to maintain that double a little bit better. Grant Delpit, make that tackle. Or at least trip him up a little bit more than that. Yeah, they're susceptible to these pick and rolls too. You see this again. I pointed this out in the Pittsburgh game, right? What you're going to see is basically, I'm going to draw this up like a basketball play. This is pick and roll. Right? So they're going to try to play 2-man here and do a pick and roll. You're going to see Aguilar sets a screen, makes him go around him, right? The key is don't make contact, but make him go up around and then chase this rail route. This is not the first time we saw this. Pittsburgh ran a variation of that, except for they ran it through this gap with Jaylen Warren. This time they're running it as a rail route for the running back, right? But same concept. Pick, stand there, make him go under, and then make sure that your man stays here. This is pick and roll. Like just isolate these 4 players and tell me this isn't pick and roll in basketball. This is pick and roll, right? Great pick here by Aguilar. Doesn't touch him. Not a penalty. Doesn't touch him. But they're taking advantage of the man coverage, right? So you run that there. Set the screen. Okay. Make him go around. And since his man, right? Since his man, what happens? Since his man, Greg Newsome stays. Okay. He stays on somebody whose entire purpose on this route is just to set a screen. And then JOK has to chase. It's pick and roll. Taking advantage of man. Now, the adjustment to this is you're just going to have to play basketball out there, right? Everybody loves to play basketball that plays football. Sometimes you got to play basketball out there, right? So you see the pick and roll. What do you do in basketball when you run into this situation? What do you do? Stay, right? It's got to be, okay, Greg, if you see that, you should call stay so that JOK stays here. And then I'm going to take the roll man upfield, and now you don't have that rail, right? They're catching you off guard with it. Play a little basketball, and that'll be all solved, right? With this pick and roll stuff, right? Okay, they're screening. You see him screen. Be aware of it, like it's a new thing out there. You know, all this pick and roll stuff. But be like, call the screen. If you gotta call it, call screen. But that means something different in football, so don't do that. But call pick, right? Pick. Call a pick. It's a pick. Stay over top and then just switch. It doesn't have to be zone. You can still play man like this. Teams do it in NBA, but just switch to pick and roll. They need to get better at communicating the switches in man because it happens. You can't just cover everybody 1-to-1. You got to switch things off. You got to pass things off even in man. Pass it off. This doesn't happen. Right? Why does Greg think that he about to throw this little 3-yard pass to Nelson Aguilar so bad? Like, he really think that's happening. Got to play it like basketball. Screen and roll. That's a screen and roll. That's all that is. That is literally a basketball play. Screen, roll, and that's, see, look, man coverage. You can run some man beaters. Great throw by Lamar. But they got to play some basketball out there. This is just Miles being special. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Look at the chaos. How many offensive linemen did he make fall? All right. There's 1 and a boom and 2. That's just incredible. That's incredible. There are people who try to tell me he had a bad game. Yeah, I don't think that's true. Maurice Hurst, good job there too. Way to move up there. But look at this. Look at this. They trying to double him. They trying to triple him. They got 3 heads on Miles. It does not matter. Oh, this is Lamar. All right. So we need to stop acting like Lamar Jackson's not special, because look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is Pat Mahomes shit, right? He gets out here and then just throws this thing to the 12-yard line in dime. Now, if you don't think that's impressive, right? There's always a hater that thinks that that's not impressive. And I understand. He plays for the Ravens. You don't want to give him credit. I've been there. I know. I'm the one that told you Kyler Murray was better than Lamar because I was hating because he was wearing them Ravens. I understand, but I need you to stop it. Look at me and understand this brother is cold, because this is what it looks like when Lamar Jackson tries this. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when a pedestrian quarterback tries this. So Lamar Jackson tries this. Right, gets flushed out, too much time in the pocket. The edges got to get there a little bit faster, but the throw is what we're focusing on. Throws this thing with ease. With ease. Now we're going to see Dorian Thompson-Robinson try to make the same throw on the same side of the field from the same area. Right, you can see this is identical. This is Lamar Jackson's throw. This is where he was. Right, the logo's pointing the same way. Same exact part of the field. DTR tries to make this throw in the same game, and look where this ball goes. The ball don't go nowhere near the target. Now, he gets a pass interference and gets lucky, but did not end the same way. Let's look at the end zone angles back to back. Again, Lamar Jackson versus a pedestrian. You see the difference. You see why people are like, damn. Look at this throw. Look at the ease that he gets this thing off with, too. Like, it doesn't even look like he's trying. This is arm talent. If you ever wonder what arm talent looks like, when people are like, oh, that arm is electric, he's got great arm strength, it's the ease in which it comes off. Look at that arm. Oh, my God. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Look how easy it comes. All right. Now, again, DTR is a pedestrian when it comes to arm strength. Look how hard look how much more effort he puts into the throw and how much less he gets out of it. Look, he's putting his whole goddamn body into this throw, and it just dies immediately. Look, when people say, and I got a lot of hell for saying DTR does not have elite arm strength, he does not have good arm strength, he does not have plus arm strength in the NFL. That's what I mean. Because again, we can go back and look at Lamar, how Lamar throws this ball. That's plus arm strength in the NFL. That is elite arm strength in the NFL. Look at this. Look at this. The ease in which he gets this off. And then the placement of it. That's arm talent. Elite arm talent in the NFL. This is pedestrian. I don't think we be understanding the difference sometimes, especially in the preseason. And this is just Lamar doing some Mahomes level stuff here. I mean, we saw the play before, and then he just off platform throws an absolute dart to the corner end zone. He's playing as good as anybody right now at quarterback, man. So what's my conclusion from this game? I think there's a lot that went into this defensive performance. It wasn't all on the offense being terrible, the Browns offense being terrible. I think that was probably a significant factor, but I wouldn't say it was a dominating factor in why they played like this. I think a lot of it was smart game planning by the Baltimore Ravens. I think a lot of it was the Browns not being able to handle motion well. I think a lot of it was Todd Monken did a great job taking advantage of how aggressive the Browns were going to be on the line of scrimmage and running things right into those aggressive fronts. He did a great job. I give their offensive coordinator credit. And then Jim Schwartz has to make these adjustments during during the bye to make sure this stuff doesn't happen. A lot of great man-to-man scheming that the Browns had no answer for. And then also Lamar Jackson was special in this one too. So I think there's a lot here for the Browns to look at over the bye and say, hey, we have to tinker with it. Some of it, there's nothing you can do about it. Lamar Jackson just played at a high level. But a lot of it, there's a lot you could do about it, right? The man-to-man stuff. I mean, how many times did motion cause problems for this defense? That kind of stuff, you'll be able to adjust that during the bye week. But those are kind of the kinks. They have to get used to running man, and they have to get used to communicating in man. Right now, they're so strict in their manness where you have Sione Takitaki, for whatever reason, thinking it's appropriate to come across field because it's man motion. They have to understand that even though man's not zone, you still got to communicate. And I think they understand that at a fundamental level, but they're not executing it at the level that you would want it to be at. But that's my thoughts on this defensive performance. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better.